All right. Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. It is the 17th of November, and we are getting started. Um, okay. So few of us were at Jewel training for 2 solid days last week, and um, I felt like I was on repeat telling Janelle and Katie and Monica and Wendy over and over again that that was probably in my over a decade of being in Plexus, the best training that I've ever been in. And none of it was new. But I think that we all come to a place in our journeys here where we sometimes we're in a place ready to like glean certain information. And I really feel, truly feel God gave us certain information that we needed and encouragement and challenge and reassurance. And it was just a different training experience. And it was very cup filling, but not in a, oh, good job, you're doing good, fluffy way. It was absolutely needed. We got clarity, I got clarity, direction, and yes, so we're going to start off. I'm going to be sharing some different things that I wrote a lot of notes. I'm not going to share all of it, but certain things that I want to talk about from my notes, things that we've all heard, we all know, but we're all human and we forget. It's easy to forget. Okay, but before I do that, I want to actually um, read a couple verses from the Bible that connects to this. And let me find the spot that I was starting at here. Oh, I lost it. Okay. Um, I have that one verse, but well, I'll just start with that one. All right. This is in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. In all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. I have that verse highlighted in my Bible. I've had it highlighted for quite some time. Um, and I recently read it, and I feel that I want to just touch on that. In all toil, there's profit. So one thing that we've heard, probably some of us in Plexus have heard that work works. When we work, it works. There's nothing magical, like work works. But talking about the work and not actually doing the work doesn't work. So in all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. I am guilty of talking and saying, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm planning on doing. And it sounds great. And it sounds like I'm doing it. But am I really doing it? Am I really doing it? Am I really implementing it? Not all the time. Okay. So that's a challenge and conviction to me. And I want to share that because it's so easy to think Plexus all the time. And it feels like we are working. But when we actually look at wherever we're writing names down and what we're actually doing, are we actually doing? And some of you, yes, some of us are doing a lot, okay? But are we really doing? Could we do more? Could we could we challenge ourselves to up the level of how many people we're reaching out to? If you already know that you're reaching out to a solid amount of people every day, that's fantastic. But it doesn't hurt to do inventory on a weekly basis. If some of us, I think, I don't know if all of us are in the Icon accountability chat, but we have that reflection sheet to fill out, and it asks questions that every time I answer them, I'm like, oh, I can do better. I didn't do as well as I thought. Um, so again, in all toil, there is profit. All toil, there is profit. Work works. Work produces results. Okay. But mere talk tends only to poverty. All right. On that note, let me pull up my notes here in my notebook. One thing I was encouraged to hear at Jewel training was your business will not grow at a linear rate. Instead, there will be ups and downs, and that is 100% normal. It's normal. Okay. So I just want to remind all of us about that. Okay. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So, for example, let's just use some real life examples in our Plexus business. Okay. I enroll a VIP. Okay. 3 weeks later, that VIP decides to stop taking the products. Okay. Even with all the amount of customer care and everything that we have been putting in, okay, to help that person, to get them started, to check in on them, all the stuff, okay? Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. So I have a choice in that moment. Do I get to decide that this obviously isn't for me, because it feels like if I could say, and we can all probably say this, like every month I lose a VIP customer. I enrolled two, I lose one. I enroll three, I lose one, whatever that looks like. Okay. That's pretty common. And instead of allowing that, okay, I get to react to it. I get to choose how I'm going to react to it. I can say, I'm just not good at this. Instead of saying that, I can choose to say, all right, what can I learn from this? How can I do better? All right. It could be that you have somebody that is choosing to build their own business, earn an income, and they start. 3 months later, they quit. Okay. We have a choice how we're going to react to that. Are we going to allow ourselves to use that opportunity, that situation, to grow our character, grow our patience? Again, take inventory on what could I have done? Could I do something better? What can I learn from this? How can I help the next person better start working in this business? Just good questions to think about. And again, all of this is how are we reacting to this? What are we thinking? What are we saying? What are we doing? All right. Let's see. Where was this? Oh, no, I'm going to go back. Okay. So Alita and Krista touched on some really, really good topics. And one of them was being in a valley season. All right. And I think that a lot of us can attest to the fact that we know what it's like to be in a valley season. A lot of us are probably in a valley season right now. And here is some very interesting thoughts and ways to work through a valley season. Maximize the valley season. Let rocks and weeds and crud be pulled out to help you grow stronger. So again, this goes back to how are we reacting to going through a challenging season in our business with our team. We could choose to say we could quit. Okay. I don't recommend that, by the way. Don't quit on a hard day. Okay. You're only allowed to quit on a good day. All right. Um, because then you won't quit. Um, but we can choose to allow challenging seasons to grow our patience, grow our character, grow our maturity, invest in our own personal development in perhaps more clear-cut ways. Like for me personally, just to give some example, leadership development, leadership skills. We all need it. It doesn't matter what rank you're at. Okay. Um, Marketing skills. That's something that I am working on. Working on those skills, looking for the people on your team, even if it's only a small amount, who want to put in some action, and getting in there and working with them and bringing them along with you. Okay. Fruit is coming if we toil. Work works. How will I maximize my season and prep in anticipation for what's to come? So, one thing that I have been thinking through even before this Jewel training, and then this pretty much affirmed what I was thinking, was what happens when my team comes into a season of momentum and things are hopping all over the place? How am I going to be able to handle that? Do I have structure in place? Do I have things in place? Do I have do I have patience? Do I have just my own daily life set up in such a way where I am able to handle a huge season of harvest. And am I preparing for that in a valley season where I'm toiling and weeding and working on developing things? Okay. So one thing that they taught on, they touched on was, do we want to be good or do we want to be excellent? And personally, I don't want to become complacent. I don't want to be someone who's just, oh, mediocre. I have a good team. Everything's hunky dory, but we're not really going anywhere. I want to be excellent. I want to be an excellent leader. I want to be excellent so that my team is excellent, so that my team has vision. They know their why, so that they have a structure in place so that they can work well, not just good, not just so, oh, we're getting by, we're doing okay, but excellent. I want to be excellent. I want to be elite. I want to be a leader. This applies to each one of you who are listening. You, something to think about. I want to be elite, to be a leader who creates change and growth in others. Okay, some questions that I wrote down from the training. Where am I cutting corners in my business? That was convicting. That's a good question to think about. Where am I cutting corners in my business? Let's see. This isn't a question, but more of a statement. Don't sit back and play small and wonder why my business isn't growing. I can't sit back. And so I'll give an example, a personal example. And again, my examples, it doesn't mean that it's your example, if that makes sense. Okay. We're all at different seasons in our business, ranks, levels, time that we've spent in this. So I'm just sharing with you my a personal thing when I think about this for myself. So for me, when I on a daily, I could say, well, I did my IPA. Well, I sent out 2 new friend requests. I messaged 2 people about the business and I followed up with 3 people. I'm good. Done for the day. Okay. So for some people, that may be in the beginning something really, really like excellent, something good for them. That's not playing small. That is something that is a big deal for them to be doing on a daily basis. Um, and that's good for me, but I know I can do better. Okay. And when I know I can do better, and when I can see other times in my life where I've done excellently in my personal business work, I am not content with that amount for myself. Does that make sense? So for me, it's not maybe so much a cut, well, maybe it is a cutting corner where I know I can do better. I know I can do better. Okay. Who else can I pour into? Can I have more conversations in the day as well? Can I be working on my stories, call to action? Can I be inviting more people to the business? Okay, on a daily basis. All right. So for me, that's what it looks like for me cutting corners in one example of cutting corners in my business. All right. Oh, really good ones here. Instead of focusing on all the obstacles, focus on all the opportunities. And again, this goes back to the whole life is 10% of what happens to us, 90% of how we react, right? So instead of saying, well, we can say this is hard. Yes, we recognize that. Perhaps we're going through a hard season. This is hard. It stinks. I don't like it. Okay, so now I have 2 choices. I get to look for things to work on, opportunities, people to work with. Okay, even if it's just one person. That's an opportunity. That's one person. What if that one person, what if that one VIP who says, "Yeah, I want to work the business," and they communicate back and forth with you and they do want to learn how to do these things well and they do want to that one person, they start working the business, they start getting a paycheck and they see the value in continuing and the vision of what this can be for their family. Their whole family's life can be changed. Just that one person. Okay? So, what you focus on expands. What I focus on expands. 80% of thoughts are negative, and 95% of thoughts are repetitive. So, if we are not renewing our mind, if we are not grabbing a hold, if we're not aware of what we are thinking on a daily basis, if our default when something maybe negative happens, okay, a situation happens, a VIP turns an order off, if our default thought is, I'm just not good at this, okay, instead, a VIP turns the order off, what can we do different? How can we be solution minded? What is a different thought we can put in place? What can I learn from this? Could I ask some honest questions of this VIP? Did I ask questions to perhaps overcome some obstacles with this VIP? Okay. Okay, I loved this one. Being around a high producer, my productivity can go up by 30%. So I love, love being in spaces where there are Plexus people who are working and developing themselves and sharing about it. Because what does that naturally make us do? It makes us want to do those things. And I personally have noticed it gets my brain in a different space of, oh, okay, like, yeah, they're doing great. They're doing those things. How can I do that? What can I do? Who can I talk to? Instead of sitting in a different headspace in a space of lack or negativity. All right, hang on one second. God created unlimited potential in each of us. We get to choose what we're going to do with that. If we feel that we've hit a cap, that is absolutely not true unless we sit there. So I could say, I'm just not good at developing, at getting better at learning how to post with more value and influence, and I don't know how to do that. It's too hard for me to wrap my brain around. Like, I can give myself a story, or I can say, what resources can I find to help me learn how to enhance and develop my marketing skills, social media skills, stories, posts? God created unlimited potential in each of us. We are able to change our thoughts. We are able to act differently, even if we have been thinking a certain way for years and years and years, does not mean that is a concrete thing. Okay. We are able to change our thoughts and act differently. Okay. We're going to wrap this up here in just a moment. One thing I want to leave with you all before we close this is this. If you don't know why you are choosing to build a business in Plexus, I want to urge you, not just say, oh, this would be a good idea, but no, urge you to think about it and find out, why are you doing this? Why are you doing Plexus? And also realize that that why can change and evolve over time. So one, I'll give an example. Okay. And then I'll probably end with this. When I first started Plexus, and for many, many years, maybe the first few years, even into the first several years, I was doing Plexus. My why was to be able to give Adam more time, and not be working long hours in the construction trade. There's nothing wrong with that, but I did not want that to be our only income, where if he didn't work, we were stuck and he had no way to, I didn't want him to just survive in life as a husband and father. I wanted him to be able to have more in life, in this earthly life, before we go to heaven. I wanted him to be able to have time with our kids. I just wanted him to be able to do things that he enjoys, right? We all talk about that. Find times to do things that you enjoy. Well, when you're working nonstop, it's really hard to do that. Okay. So my why was to be able to bring in a little extra money. I thought $1,000 a month would be nice. 500 at first was like my first thought. And then I thought, well, I'd really like $1,000 a month, because that would be even better. I felt like there was some cushion there, and that would be great, because then that would be going into the bank account once a month, and there'd be like this little cushion, and it would be so nice. And he'd be able to be like, oh, okay, that's going in. That's good. Well, when I heard that this could become full-time, I was like, okay, sign me up. I don't know what I'm doing, but tell me what to do and I'll do it. Still, some days I feel like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Okay. So eventually he is in a place where he is home and he works from home, and he has time. He has time. Okay. Our household income is not 100% relying on him. Okay. There is time, there is breathing space. We are so thankful. Okay. So now I could say, I don't know what my why is. Well, you guys, I know what my why is. I'll tell you. It's kind of been an evolving why. All right. It still has to do with Adam, but it has to do with far more than he's home, right? But it has to do with our kids. And there's a whole lot more to that as well, not just our kids. But here's the thing. Currently, okay, I'm just gonna be very vulnerable and honest. We can't afford to take them on trips with us. Okay. Yet. Okay. They are older now, and they are hyper aware of the fact that we've gone on extravaganzas. They know where we go. They know what we do. They are hyper aware of it. We can't bring them to convention yet. Yet. Okay. Okay. So we want to be able to do that for so many reasons. Okay. I want to bring all four of them to Hawaii, be able to sit around the pool, be able to walk them over to the shaved ice hut and get as much shaved ice as we want, and not blink an eye at the bill. I want to be able to say, yeah, let's get pizza, let's order room service, instead of walking down to the hotel restaurant. I want to be able to do stuff like that. Because number one, I don't want to have to worry about the cost, because I want to be able to be fully immersed in making memories with them, and be completely and 100% relaxed on trips, and not worry about the money. And I want them to be able to come with us to many things. I also want them to be able to come and be around other high performers, people who think differently, people who love the Lord and are ambitious and have developed themselves. I want them to be around people like that. I want them to think big. I want them to know what having a vision for their life means. Okay. I want them to be able to make lifelong friends with my Plexus friends, with your kids. Okay, but they can't do that when I'm capping myself and be like, well, Emerald's okay. We'll just stay here. We'll just stay here. Okay. I can't do that. So that is my new evolved why. It's been evolving for a while. Okay. There's another part of it. We need a house. We don't want to live in an RV the rest of our lives. Okay. We need a house for so many reasons. A good portion of it involves the kids needing space, us all needing, needing more bedrooms, needing space. But it's not even just, oh, we need space. It's, I have a dream of being able to have a spacious enough house to be able to host things, people coming over. There is plenty of food in the pantry. Coffee can go on at the drop of a hat. I have enough seating that's comfy and cushy for people to come over and it be a safe space for people to crash. I want to have at least one extra bedroom for somebody to be able to stay overnight if they're in a hard spot. I want to be the place where my church family, which is on the smaller side, can all come and be comfortable for Bible studies, for events. I want to be able to have big team events in my house. So we don't have that right now. Okay. I have always had the desire to host things, but I've never had the space to do it in all of our marriage. So there's like two different portions of my why. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you and be very honest and open. Um, and I have more as well, but that's it for now. So I want to end with that. Um, I'm excited for the future. Okay. I didn't come back from Jewel training on a high. I came back with excellent clarity and direction and actual steps to take. And so did the other Jewels who went. And we are looking forward to helping each of us, all of our teams, start to actively grow in the near future, the very near future. So thank you guys for coming on. And that's it. So we'll end it. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday.